Hey everyone, and I'm back with another video today. I have my army green nails that I talked about on my last video when I reviewed the Kat Von D Saint Sinner palette and gave kind of my first impression on it. But for today's video, I'm going to be recreating a look that was done on Shay Mitchell. I will be putting the makeup artist's Instagram and details in the description below. My base face makeup has already been done, so that's foundation, concealer, and powder. I will be bronzing, blushing, highlighting on camera today as long as recreating the eye look with you guys and the lip. The products I use for my face will be in the description just as they are with every makeup tutorial I do. So without further ado, let's get on with this tutorial. So before we get started with the eyes today, I just wanted to go ahead and bronze the face. The first bronzer I'll be using, because she looks very glowy in this makeup look, so the first bronzer I'll be using is this Hoola bronzer. This was actually a sample I got a while back, and it's still it's kind of like a larger eyeshadow pan size, but you know what? It's worked, and once I run out of it, I definitely will be repurchasing the larger size. I'm just gonna go in and bronze the edges of my face, the perimeter. And although this is a really neutral bronzer on me, I will be warming it up with another bronzer that I will show you guys in a moment. So I'm really just concentrating in the cheek area and the forehead, and then I will lightly dust my nose and the jawline. The next bronzer I'm going to be going in with is from this NYX contour palette. It's something I've had for a while. It was my first contouring palette that I ever got, and it's when the Anastasia contour kit was super popular, and I don't know if I couldn't afford it at the time or if I wasn't ready to splurge that much on a contouring kit, but when I saw this one at Target, I was like, you know what, this is the way to go. So I'm just going to take this warmer color at the end of the palette on the bottom. So if you're looking at it this way, it would be the bottom row, the far right, under the more shimmery color. Just because it looks very warm tone, and I can go ahead and swatch it on my hand for you guys. So never really swatched a bronzer before. Actually, let me swatch the Hoola one. The Hoola swatch will be on top, so you guys can get an idea of what I'm mixing together here. Bronzers are kind of weird to swatch, but you can kind of get an idea of what I wanted to do. The Hoola one is definitely lighter on me, so that's why I'm going to go in with this more warm tone bronzer. And not so much bringing that warm tone down my jawline, not jawline, my cheekbone, trying to keep it more towards the forehead region is definitely my goal with this color. It's very pigmented, so be careful where you place the pigment. As you can see, I kind of placed it a little too high right there. I haven't used this palette in a while, so I forgot about that. But I just love that pop of warmth that it's giving me. Another one of my favorite warm tone bronzers is the Milani Baked Bronzer in shade 4 Glow. That's one of my all-time favorites, but it does have a bit of shimmer. And the shimmer I want to bring with this look is going to come from the highlight, not from the bronzer itself, so that's why I didn't use that one in this tutorial. But if you've watched any of my other ones, you know that's one of my holy grail bronzers that I love to use. So I'm pretty happy with how this looks right now. I'm going to do highlight before blush, because sometimes if you overdo your highlight by taking the blush, you can kind of blend the two together. So the highlight we'll be using today is from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sweets Glow Kit. They are coming out with the Sugar Glow Kit, I believe. It's very similar to this one in the sense that it has two of these older shades, Marshmallow and Butterscotch. The new shades, I believe, are more not as out there. There's a grape color in here, which is purple highlight, but it was cool. I used it on Halloween and made my peacock feathers pop. Not peacock, my peacock costume kind of makeup pop. So I'm just gonna go ahead and highlight with this golden shade called Butterscotch. So if you guys feel like you missed out on this palette, the new palette does have two of the original shades, so you're not missing out too much. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply that on the high points of my face. I almost used Anastasia So Hollywood today, but I believe that one's just a little bit more golden than this one. So I wanted to keep it more neutral on the highlight, but I still want to make sure we are glowing. I will also be applying that on the forehead, a little on the forehead, and on the chin. And like I said, when it comes to the nose area and the rest of the face, I'm just kind of messily applying it, not really taking a detailed brush and going in. Just because you want to give that natural, if this is considered natural, just glow. Like, I don't want to see that I have like one specific dot on my nose from the highlight. Next, I'm going in with blush. The blush I'll be using today is from Milani. It's the shade 5 Luminoso. Everyone that like tries it loves it, so definitely if you're looking for a blush, give this a try. I'm not a blush girl. I own like 3 blushes and one like NARS palette that had like a few blushes and the bronzer and a highlight. So I'm definitely not a blush person, but I love this blush. So I'm going to be taking this on a blush brush and just applying it lightly to my face. And again, I'm not using a heavy hand for this product, just something super subtle but still noticeable, like a healthy flush. Like I said in I think I mentioned this in my previous video, but I've just been feeling so inspired when it comes to makeup looks, and I'm getting back into recreating them, and it's something that I really love to do. That's kind of how I started my Instagram. Before I started YouTube, I was recreating other people's makeup looks, and it was just so much fun. Okay, so now that we have applied the blush, our base makeup is done. So I am going to go ahead and set my face with the Too Faced mattifying setting spray that I have right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and set the face. I want to spray pretty far because this one will leave those little droplets if you're not careful. Now that that is all set, we're going to go ahead and move on to the eyes. Actually, before we move on to the eyes, I do want to go ahead and do the lips, just because I hate how like foundation-y lips kind of look. Like, it just makes you look like you're dead. So I'm going to go in with the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in shade Abu Dhabi and apply that. It's just like a neutral lip color for my skin tone that's just going to kind of tie in with the eye look that we'll be creating. This is a bit pinker than what she was wearing. Hers was a little bit more pale. But that's what I like about recreating makeup looks, so you can kind of take your own little twist on it. Especially when you're not using the exact same products that they used. Okay, so moving on to the eyes. As I always do, I'm going to go ahead and prime. The primer I'm going to be using today is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. This would probably be my favorite eyeshadow primer. I didn't use it in my last video because I let my mom borrow it when she went on a trip. So I'm just going to go ahead and prime my eyes with this real quick. Okay, so to go ahead and set that primer, the eyeshadow palette I'm using today does not have like a setting kind of shade. So I'm just going to go back into that NYX palette that we used earlier and use the most neutral shade. So I think I'm just going to go in with this light color next to the shimmery shade on the top row. I'm kind of holding the palette upside down, so that's not completely accurate on camera, but you guys know what I mean. So just taking that, just any neutral matte shade just to set the primer before we move on to the shadows. The palette I will be using today is this MOSCHINO shopping bag collaboration with Sephora. If I open it up, you can see the shades that are in here, so they're the perfect perfect colors to use for today's look. Swatches of these are up on my Instagram. Like I said, I always put swatches on my Instagram, so if you ever request something, I will definitely swatch it and put it up on there. So I'm going to first start out with a little blending brush and take the shade Clay in the palette, which is this one right here, this warm tone brown color, and just dust that in the crease just to get the foundation of this look going. This is a bronzier eye with a pop of color on the lower lash line. The next shade I'm going to be going in is right next to it, and it's this shade Bound Brown right here in the palette. And I think I'm going to be taking that on just the same brush, but lightly tapping into that color and just dusting it no longer in the crease, but a little above the crease, and blending it with that other color. I'm not sure if on her lid she has a bronzy shimmer or not, or a matte color, but I'm really feeling this like bronzy color I have in this palette. As you can see, I swatched it on my hand. It looks so gorgeous. Whether or not she has that, I'm going to go ahead and use it for this look. So I'm just taking a small kind of flat fluffy brush. I'm not going to mist the brush because I don't want it to be too shimmery, but I do want to translate that color on the lid. And just using a light hand with this, I'm not going to be packing on this color because I don't want it to be too pigmented since it does have more of a brown undertone. I'm just going to do a light layer so we still get that bronzy shimmer, but we don't overwhelm the eye on the top. I think that looks beautiful right there. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and repeat that step on the other eye. Let me just check real quick. I haven't had any fallout from these brushes. Do take note though that the palette does give a little bit of kickback, so I am dusting that off, not dusting it off, but tapping it off the brush before I applied the matte shades. The shimmer doesn't seem to have that issue. Oh, and this is the shade Pixie Dust in the palette. So far we've used all 3 shades on the top row. So just taking that brush that we blended the creases, I'm just going to go in right there just to make sure that the transition between the bronzy shade and the top colors is even. Actually, I'm not going to do the inner corner just yet. I'm going to take a really small pencil brush and I'm going to go in with the shade Kisses, which is this really pretty maroony color. And this is going to be our pop of color on the lower lash line. So I'm first going in with a smaller brush and just applying that on the lower lash line. She seems to also have like an eyeliner of sorts along the same color in her waterline, but I do not have that color. I'm pretty sure the Marc Jacobs eyeliners would carry a color like that, just because they do have some really pretty shades in their line, but I don't have colorful eyeliners, so I'm just gonna improv here. Now just taking like a bigger pencil brush, I'm gonna go ahead, it's clean, I'm just gonna kind of dust that along the lower lash line just to blow out the color a little bit and blend it out. What I like is that this color is not too intense, and by keeping it close to the lower lash line, it just gives a pop and really if you have brown eyes, really is going to bring out the other colors you have in that brown, like the yellow, the green, just like a little bit of those colors. If you have them in your eye, it's going to really pop with this color on your lower lash line. So finally, I'm just going to go ahead and clean that same little tiny brush we used before. Just using a brush cleaner and quickly swiping that off. My nose is running. I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Angel Wings, which is this shimmery, pale shimmer at the bottom of the palette. I don't remember if it has a sheen to it. Let me go ahead and swatch it real quick. Yeah, it's just a really pretty like pale color, as you see right there. I was really impressed by the formula of these shadows. This is the first time I've used them on the eyes, but I could tell by their swatches that they were probably going to really be good shades. I did use them once without primer and it was kind of difficult to blend. I don't know if that was a me issue, but not today. Today they were beautiful. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop that in my inner corner. It's such a gorgeous shade. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just take the little leftover shadow and just place it on the brow bone. And just to keep things cohesive. And finally, we're going to finish off this eye with a bit of mascara and lashes. I'll be right back, show you guys what I'll be using for that. For the lashes today, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Lash Paradise Mascara. I love this mascara. It gives me kind of like a falsies look. I also will be using some of these little like just Asian lashes because it looks like Shay Mitchell has either lash extensions or they applied cluster lashes to her lashes. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply the mascara first. Believe it or not, I do not own an eyelash curler. That's something I definitely need to get. Just haven't gotten around to it. As you can tell, the lashes are already looking super wispy, and I'm going to go ahead and also apply mascara to the bottom lashes. You can either stop here or choose to apply those natural falsies I mentioned earlier. I'm going to quickly jump off camera and I'll come back with the finished look. And that, you guys, is my completed recreation of the Shay Mitchell inspired makeup look. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see more recreation type of looks, please let me know below and who you'd like to see and which look from what event or something like that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you in my next one. Bye everyone!